And I guess we're gonna skip the intro because for some reason, man, intro videos ain't playing good on live right now for me. But anyway, man, how y'all doing tonight, man? We back on Thursday. We're gonna be back on Thursday for a little hot minute, man. So I want to shout everybody out for tuning in. Of course, we got the big soldier in the house, man. What's going on with you?
What's happening? What's happening, man? Jaguar Nation. I got a
Hey,
big one on last Saturday. Good
hey, we
job, good job.
man. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. I was surprised as hell.
Me too.
I was sitting there watching the game, man. I was like, I know at some point this thing gonna end up like it normally do, and we're gonna mess around and let this thing go. But we found a way to pull it on out, man. I
Yeah.
salute to them boys, man. They out there.
Shout out to
Salute to my
Cam
boy
McCoy,
Barry Remo,
man.
man.
Barry Remo, Cam McCoy. Um, Dupree DeFuller did pretty good in that game for y'all. And oh yeah, shout out to Big Mac, man. Big Mac said at least he was going out. He was going out swinging, man.
Hey, he took them young mans out in a
He
good
brought
way,
them young
man.
men to play. Yeah,
He
so.
t- he took them young mans out in a good way, man. So it, it,
Mhm.
it, it was an ugly, rough season, bro. But anytime you come out that dome with a victory, when you ain't winning, man, yeah, man. Salute to Kelby Givens, man. Got the fumble recovery to end the game.
Mhm.
That really was a thing, man. That game was so emotional, man. My wife cried after that game was over with, man. She
Hey,
was
she got a right to cry, cause that
she,
I ain't gonna lie, I stood up and applauded. I really get. I was like, that's the way to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, keep fighting to the end. I mean, Southern
yeah,
always had fight the whole season anyway. They ain't never stopped
they,
believing
they-
they
you
could
know,
win, man. So shout out to my boy, uh, you know what I'm talking, god dang, uh, Trey Holly, man.
oh
He did
yeah,
his thing
he,
too.
he did his thing, man. He ain't been healthy for the last few weeks. Matter of fact, he missed the Tech Southern game with an injury, and he shook back in a major way, man. Like I say, Cam McCoy came out there. He ain't really have the best passing game, but he made the biggest passes that he made at Southern, man. So,
Hmm.
everybody did what they needed to do to get that win, man. Um, it felt good. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. It felt good. It still hurt to see that 2-10, but in these kind of days, man, it's good to come out with a victory, man. Kind of remind me of the old days when we used to, all we had was beating Grambling. So it's like,
Right.
no,
But I
nah,
don't
nah,
see too many 2 and 10s coming anymore. With the rival Marshall Faulk, man. I think he's gonna be a really good coach for Southern, man.
yeah, man. Like I say, I'm a hope for the best, man. Like it's just one of them situations where you kind of don't know what to expect, but he coming in, he sound like he ready. He sound like he got a couple things. Sound like he got a couple things up his sleeve. So like I said, we'll see what go on, man. Like it was well received. He was able to get out a couple people who ain't really been at Southern in a long time. So, we'll see. The money seems like it's coming in,
Yeah,
and I
Niz
think
Williams popped up. I seen
yeah, man,
I
and Neil
seen
Williams popped
Avery
up.
Johnson pop out and all that. Look
Man,
at Avery Johnson.
I don't think neither one of them dudes been at Southern in a long time,
Long
man.
time,
So
yeah.
that's a good start, man. So we'll see what he do. Like I said, he said his staff about 90% complete. So we'll see what's up with that as we move forward. Um, all we do now is wait and see. But it, 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 it's a good day, man. Like I say, I'm happy right now. I ain't got too many complaints. I mean, obviously I season over with, so I ain't got no complaints about that part. But like I said, it was rough, but we made it through. I'm surprised I made it through because I thought I was gonna go crazy about mid-season, but we made it through, and like you said, hopefully we ain't got no more of these ahead of us, and we can get back to trying to do what we can do to make things interesting in Baton Rouge. But I will say this: as bad as it's been, we ain't lose the Valley.
Right. Ain't no, ain't as long as you take no L to Valley, but I know who did.
and
Jose, come on to the
and,
flow.
and that's what I'm saying, man. They got to let that man go, man. I don't see how he's still there.
They just wait until January. He know it's over with. He
They
know it's
waiting for
over with.
softball season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, man. I don't know how you do that, bro. Honestly, I don't know how you lose the Valley back-to-back years, man. They just
They
that's
think
just a
shook the
rough one
devil
now.
out. That's what it is, you know. Valley got their number, man. And then
But
that team, and to be honest with you, and I might be wrong, but that team, this year team to me was worse than the team last year.
who fam you?
No, I'm talking about this year's
Valley?
Valley was way worse than last year's Valley, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna be a lot. I thought they were gonna do a lot better, man. They kind of faded. They kind of faded as the season went on, but
Mm-hmm.
you know they picked a good weekend to get it right, man. Because they offense was clicking. You know, they did just enough on defense to get the win. They made they made the plays that you need to make to win games. And I like I said, if I was already kind of concerned about that game for FAMU, but I didn't think they were gonna lose. But I was kind of concerned with it because the game, this wasn't a game supposed to be played at this point in the season. You coming off of losing the Florida Classic. Can you
Oh, pizza today, huh?
can you get your guys ready to play a team like Valley? And obviously the answer was no. Shout out my boy Emo out there in Dallas, but man, it's rough. So like I said, at some point, man, that man got to pack his bags, bro.
Yeah, you can't take no L to Valley in that fashion, and see, fam, you was regressing. They're not progressing. They're on a regress. So I mean, shoot, they better go ahead and shut it down where they can, because Cozy. I mean, when you stick with a guy like R.J. Johnson, don't get me wrong, I ain't talking about R.J. Johnson, but I just didn't think he was the quarterback for FAMU. You know what I'm saying? Definitely ain't never played before.
Yeah, he like I say, man, he
Oh, so I
I
had a
thought he
online
was
order
taking
for
some
James Sanders. Mm-hmm.
I thought he was taking some good steps forward, but obviously, he had his ups and downs and his bad moments came at the wrong time. But I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they did him too much justice either, though. You know what I'm saying? Like they they never really found nothing, man. Like I said, I figured nobody would be there primarily because it's Thanksgiving weekend. They tried to do a couple of things to get people in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
You bring a can good, you get in, but that's hard to get people to come to a game when your team is not good and you playing a team that really don't got nothing on the line either. So I like I said, I can't take nothing from Valley though, man. I gotta salute them, man. So they went out there and they went out there and they did what they had to do, and they got the win, man. And you can't you
Mm-hmm.
can't you can't take that from them.
Yep. I agree, man. But I don't know where FAMU goes from here. I don't know what direction they go, but I know one thing: they leaving Cozy in the rear view.
They have to, man. Like they have to. They have to find they have to find their direction again, man, because it's whatever they had going on before is just not working. So you got to do what you got to do. If that's like you say, putting him in the rear view, you got to put him in the rear view because everything fell off for FAMU in the last couple years. The defense, especially,
Yeah.
that defense is nowhere near where they used to be.
That
And that,
defense
and
was a leader under Coach Simmons, man. It really was, and that defense is, yeah, definitely up that middle. See where
oh yeah,
they folks can run. They soft up that middle, man.
I mean. it's just one of them things, man. Like they just completely fell off. Yeah, that quarterback, man, he turned into somebody else that Saturday, man, because he, like you said, he was not good. He was not good at all this season. You know, that's why he never really took the job. And I just knew with him playing on Saturday, I was like, this gives FAMU an edge, but he found something, man. Like, I don't know, he must have got some devil's magic too, because that boy was making plays, man, in a way I never expected from him. So, you know, it's just one of them games, man, where it's like you just everything go right for you and everything go wrong for the other team. And you know, I was really glad we won, because I did not want to be the only team to go winless in the conference. So but I found out Valley was winning. I was like, we gotta win, man. We gotta win this game, because I can't deal with a winless conference.
That's crazy,
season.
but so that Valley and Southern won on the same day like that to keep
Yeah,
them going winless in conference play.
exactly, man. That was, you know, that was crazy, because man, I haven't heard nothing, man. People tight lip. This whole process been really tight lipped. I didn't ask everybody I know that got connects, and most people ain't really saying that. At least the connections I got, which are people that's really in tune. I ain't really heard nothing. If I hear anything, it's usually the same things, but I ain't heard nothing about the staff yet. So
yeah,
I'm
why Roman Banks still on as your athletic director, man?
man. He got favor with some of them people
He
who
must do,
higher up,
because
man.
he should have been the first dude up out of there, you know.
He got favor with some of them people, and he, you know, I think all of this is on his shoulders. So if this don't work, you know, you gotta look at it that way, because everybody, you know, they put that bread in his pocket, man. They got that man a private jet to go to Colorado, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to make this work. I was surprised, you know, that nothing really came down on him. You know, he been ducking and dodging a lot of smoke, but you know, like I say, we'll see what happens, man. Yeah, like I say, I ask everybody I know. From, you know, I don't want to name a lot of people that I talk to, but my father is super in tune. He got to connect, like direct to certain places on campus. He couldn't really tell me nothing. I talked to a couple OGs that I know. My main OG I talked to, I couldn't get nothing really out of him. I talked to a couple people that's not really, they're like fans, but they plugged in. They couldn't tell me nothing. Hell, I talked to Blue, and Blue couldn't tell me nothing. I was like,
you know,
bro,
it's bad when the white man ain't got no information.
yeah, man. I was like, man,
Shout out to Blue.
I can't get no. And then the only thing I kept getting was the same stuff from everybody. So I was like, okay, well, if anything I'm getting from people is kind of the same, I guess this is what it's gonna be, because most people just would not, you know, they just didn't have nothing, man. Or they had something, it was very little. So I will give Southern credit for that, because Southern notorious for things getting out there, man. You know, it don't take nothing for word to leak at Southern, because
Man.
you know, everybody know everybody.
Man, they got
So
this thing locked down like when like on rush hour when nobody knew who Tower was, huh?
yeah, bro, it was just like it was. Bro, I've been watching Rush Hour. I've been watching Rush Hour this week, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy
man.
you
He said
brought
you
that
don't
up.
know his
But
name. Man, nobody know his name.
nobody knows Tower, man. They just know he out there. They just know he out there buying up all that stuff, man. Shout out to my boy Johnny Johnson out there, man. That's a serious Jaguar. Salute to him. I think I had hit him up. He couldn't tell me nothing. Man, like you say, bro, like nobody know who June Tower is, man. No matter who you ask, no matter how plugged in they is, they couldn't tell you nothing. And it was rough, man. But you know, I salute them for keeping everything kind of close to the vest because once things kind of leak, man, everything get out of control. So they made it happen. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's what I heard the money is, they kind of being, kind of better with the money. So we'll see what happens, man. Like I said, we all playing the wait and see game, man. We all playing the wait and see game. And I think that's the biggest. I think that's the best thing about this move this time was because it didn't get out of control with the talking. You didn't have all the expectations like we had, with the previous search. Not the Dooley search, because everybody knew what that was. But when they did Coach Graves, nobody really expected him to get that job. Everybody had they picks and favorites, and everybody had their rumors and stuff. And then you come out there with Coach Graves, it was kind of like, for some people it's kind of a letdown. So they did a better job with that, man, and I salute them for that because Southern, like I said, Southern notorious for if you ask the right person, you can find out anything you want on that campus, anything, anywhere. So I salute them for that, man. So we hold on. Let me get Mr. Rattlemania in the house. What's going on, Rattlemania?
What's up, man? Good to see y'all. Just getting off from work, bro. I'm just getting off, man.
Welcome back to Thursday, man. Welcome back to Thursday.
Yeah, it's been hectic. It's Christmas time for us, so.
Oh yeah,
I've been busy.
I know how that is. But hey, we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming back through. We kind of just been all over the place a little bit. We kind of talking about Southern and their hiring process. How it kind of went smoother than expected. But what you think about Marshall Faulk going to Southern?
I think it's good. I guess it's good. I don't know how good of a coach he is. That remains to be seen. This experiment could go one or two different ways. It could be like Deshaun Jackson, or it could be like Mike Vick. You know what I'm saying? So the jury's still out. But I haven't seen that. Did they get anybody good on this National Signing Day, or
I don't think we brought nobody in at this point. I think they just gonna. I'm assuming it's gonna be a heavy portal class. So
yeah.
I don't think too much was brewing, especially with him coming in at the point that he did. And right. I don't know how much. I don't know how much recruiting the previous staff had been doing up until the final moments. So I don't think they really had a lot. And Southern really hadn't been big on early signing day anyway the last few years. So I wasn't really expecting nothing. So like I said, we'll just see what happens, in this portal window.
I'm hoping we get some at all our HBCUs. We can get some players just off the strength of us being a HBCU and just for the love of the school itself, instead of just going around searching for the money or whatever the case may be that these guys be looking for. But that's what we all need.
I agree with that. Since you're here, man, I need to ask you, because we had already talked about it a little bit. I don't want to bombard you with the actual ugly details, but what are your opinions on Coach Cozy, man? Should he stay? Should he go? I need to hear this from a Rattler. I mean, I didn't listen to a couple podcasts already, so I know how a lot of y'all feel, but I need to hear from the Rattler that's on our show.
You feel scratching my head, but bruh, I don't know what to think, with the just hiring of the new athletic director and all this stuff that we got going on with, the new president. I just don't know where their head is as far as it go for football, at the way it looked, because I haven't heard anything, not like I'm in Tallahassee or anything like that, but I haven't heard anything. So the way it looked, we may be keeping Cozy, but I know, y'all heard my frustration earlier towards the end of the season about, it just things didn't look good as far as the team identity and things. Well, the identity that they had was a bad identity. So, I, I personally, I want to start over with some new coach. That's just me personally, but the people that's pulling the strings and the money involved, and our whole situation with like I say, with the AD and stuff, I really don't know which way they're gonna go. But if they don't hire nobody, if they don't get rid of him soon, then I think we should just go ahead and keep him and let him work through his contract, because we can't just keep him hanging in limbo. And then, it's got to happen. Whatever they got to do, they need to hurry up and do it. So
yeah, I agree. They need to either get behind him or get him gone. Like you said, the longer he stay in limbo, that's bad for the team, because it's hard to recruit with a coach in limbo. So
right.
Let me ask you one more thing before we move off of this, because I know you ain't really that you don't really want to talk too much about the ugly events of last Saturday, but
I don't mind.
Well, all right. Well, we'll let's start with. Before I start with that, I want to ask you to honestly, what do you think is the reason why the team went the way that it went this season?
Like just not being able to finish. I think it's got to be the coaching. I mean, the defense was looking very bad all year long. We've been giving up third down conversions all year long. So what happened at the end of the last two games is nothing new. You know what I mean? Because we have been seeing that all year. And I think Cozy might, if he's going to stay the coach, I don't know if he's the defensive coordinator or what, or I don't know. I thought they hired a defensive coordinator, but he might need to get rid of that guy and get somebody else in there. And Cozy might just need to be a coach and just worry about managing the team and get somebody else and let them scheme things up and get through to the players, because especially our DBs, they didn't look good really at no point during the season. So I'm gonna put it on the coaching as far as to why we look like we look, because you could see even on the offensive side of the ball, it seemed to me like our offense wouldn't call plays until they got to the point where they had to call the play. It's almost like, okay, we down by 14 now. We got to play now, and then he start throwing the ball down the field, or opening up the playbook a little bit more. So even though I kind of like Burris, because the quarterback, he got some growing to do, but he put up some good stats in spite of holding on to the ball and missing throws like he did. I was shocked to see the amount of stats that he had, and I can only imagine, had he hit on some of those throws and gotten rid of it on some of those sacks and things like that, how much better his stats could be. So I don't think Burris is necessarily the problem. I think this year was his first time calling plays, I believe, at least for us or whatever. So hopefully that'll improve if he comes back next year. But I would say it was the coaching for the most part, and our offensive and defensive line are the weakest parts of the team. Were the weakest parts of our team this last year, in my opinion.
I was actually surprised about the offensive line play.
Yeah, but some of that could have been the play calling, because we started popping some runs here and there, and even I think the coaches got to coach like they coaching for their job, and they can't have no feelings for the kids. I know that sounds cruel and stuff, but if you're a senior and we got this freshman that's ready to play or that's doing better, I guess what I'm trying to say is we need to go with the hot hand during the game. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people talk about, they playing favorites. I've heard that, and there's a certain DB on that team that I know all y'all Rattlers can't stand. So
Yeah, bro. I
that,
don't
that,
I
that,
don't know I don't know why they ain't let nobody else get out there and get run by or get burnt. I mean I could have got out there and been looking sweet with my, I could put on all the gear and get run by and miss tackles and grab at arms and try and hug people. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind working out during the spring and getting back in shape and stuff and getting my body right and then going out there and miss tackles and all that. But yeah, so and I don't know that it was favoritism or anything like that, but it was kind of obvious to a lot of us season ticket holders that, we're like, well, why is this cat running back out there? You know what I mean? And while I say that by season ticket holder, why it's on my mind, to all my rattlers out there, don't get rid of your season tickets and lose your zish as far as your parking spot and seat and all that kind of stuff over something that is temporary. This dude got a 3-year contract. We done sat through worse than this, and we done sat through better than this. But don't lose your zish because of a bad football season. I just want to put that out there. I don't know how many FAMU people watching, but I got to let them know that right there. Because I had to have that heart-to-heart one myself. Because now's the time, you got to start putting back into your kitty to get yourself ready for next season.
oh yeah,
And
I agree, man. Because like I feel like when things are going bad, you're real emotional, and you make the decisions that looking back you're gonna regret it. So even if you don't go, man, sell the tickets.
yeah,
Buy them and sell them. It might be hard to sell tickets sometimes when the team is not doing that great, but it's better, like you say, it's better to keep your spot because things gonna turn around. And when they turn
yeah,
around, you don't want to be trying to chase that again and trying to get it back. And you ain't gonna get you ain't gonna get your regular seat. You don't get your regular parking spot.
you don't get your parking space.
Yeah,
All of that.
you're gonna be out of luck. So I like I say, don't react like that because I've been close to doing things like that. Before I moved, I was real close to doing certain things that just that's just hard to get back into. So just stick the course, man. It ain't easy, but stick the course.
Man, we still have a good time at the games. Shoot, we got a good band to watch, so we can go there for that if that's got to be the case for one more season. But I just wanted to say that just to all my rattlers out there, keep going to the games, keep supporting the kids, and if you pull out your support, then things definitely won't change.
Oh yeah.
So you got to keep supporting.
Well,
But yeah, that's how I feel. It was a tough ending. My wife been riding me. She been riding my whole family. She the only wildcat in the family. So she got up. She been talking noise. Got the chain my front door mat to a Bethune door mat. got got the #1 pennant finger hanging all in the front room in the window and stuff.
Hey, she had to take them, what it was, 4 years. She had to take them 4 years, man. Now she gotta get back. So,
Yeah, yeah. But it's all good. It's rough, boy. It was rough. And I want to say this to the Jackson State people. Y'all ask us how I feel to lose 2 times in a row to be on the losing streak and all that kind of stuff to Valley. Y'all should know because y'all done lost 2 in a row to Grambling. So there you go. Y'all know how the losing streak. Y'all know what the losing streak feel like. Just reflect on that right there.
Well, before we get into this SWAC championship game, we're gonna spend basically the last portion of the show talking about the SWAC championship game. But I want to take a minute, man, and explain a couple things to everybody, man. We will be probably doing Thursday shows a little bit more often moving forward because unfortunately I had an injury at work. I'm kind of in a bad way, y'all. if you can see my hand, I got frostbite on my right hand, and um I'm actually gonna be losing my pinky finger because it's just like it's just shriveled and black, and so I'm kind of like out of action. So I'm at home, and so we'll be doing more shows on on Thursdays. And on a serious note, man, if y'all can, if anybody can kind of chip in, man, it couple dollars here and now. Man, y'all, I appreciate if y'all hit my cash app, which is $ swag talk, because I'm on workman's comp now, so they didn't cut my money. So if anybody can contribute anything, man, I definitely appreciate it, because I'm going through a rough time right now, man. This happened about a month ago, and I didn't tell nobody until this week, man. I didn't even tell my mama till Tuesday. So I've been battling this mentally, man, and I've been still doing shows, but it's been hard because I've been trying to hide my hand every show, and y'all know I talk with my hands, so I've been really struggling to kind of keep this on the low, but I feel like y'all my family, man. So I just want to let y'all know, if y'all can, anything, man. We got a couple things that we got to catch up on till I get my money next week. So if anybody could do anything, man, it'd be much appreciated. Prayers for sure. I find out next Friday when my surgery gonna be. I'm gonna still be around, because as long as I got access to my phone, man, I'm gonna be doing shows, because y'all, this is what keep me from going crazy, because I can't go outside because I can't expose my hand to the cold, and it's like it was like -6 degrees last night. It's been snowing the last week, so I've been in the house. My wife won't let me out. I'm going stir crazy, but like I say, man, I'm just trying to make it day to day. Um, it's just one of them things, man. So like I said, if anybody could kind of, do what they do, and definitely keep me in your prayers, I definitely appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I was shocked when you told me that earlier today about your hand. I was surprised. I was like, dang, bad luck, but you're gonna be all right. You're gonna pull it through.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm just
And
gonna, I'm gonna keep my head up. But it's been one of them things, man, where I've been battling that mental battle, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's my right hand. I'm right-handed. So everything I had to figure out how to put my phone on the tripod, because
right, you used to it.
it's just you got to do everything different. And when I got the news about my finger, man, that really shook me. You know what I'm saying? Because I tried to act like it didn't bother me, but deep down it did. But that's why I really didn't tell nobody nothing, because I didn't really come to grips with it myself. So
Well,
now
my
I'm kind
my
of.
dad, my dad lost his pinky finger riding a. You remember the old school 10-speed bikes and how the
Oh yeah.
handlebars just curve over like that
Uh-huh.
right there?
I had
And
one.
he fell on the bike and he clipped his finger in that brake. You know how the brake
Oh
used to
yeah.
be up there? And he had to cut off a piece of his pinky finger. Um, but he went on and he learned how to carry on and do without it. I don't know how much of your finger you might lose, but
I
they
think
just took
right
some
at the it's gonna be about right about there. Where you at?
they took some skin from his thigh or somewhere and just kind of folded it over it. And you really, you had to be looking to tell. You get what I'm trying to say?
Oh yeah. But like I say, man, I just I've been fighting that mental battle, man, because it's just it's just hard, especially telling your mama. You know what I'm saying? Like having to tell my mama a warrior, so it's like trying to tell her, like it was something I really didn't want to do, but I feel like I feel like y'all family, so I wanted y'all to know what was going on too, man. But like I said, as long as I got my phone and my camera, I'm gonna be here doing this, because this is what keep me moving. So with all that said, man, like I said, I appreciate everybody for anything, anything that y'all can do. I definitely appreciate it. Like I say, you only giving so much that you can handle. And so, I know that I can still make it. I still got the rest of my hand, it's healing fine. My index finger is basically almost fully healed anyway. So my other two fingers, they getting us. So I'm gonna be doing occupational therapy and get my hand right, and I'll be back on track probably earlier next year. But all that said, man, I just wanted to let everybody know what's going on with me. So, because I wanted to just clear the air. Well, not clear the air, but I wanted to just put it out there in the atmosphere. Because I've been telling everybody this week, so I wanted to tell y'all. But with that being said, man, let's move on to a lighter topic. SWAC championship game, man. What's y'all thoughts on this game Saturday?
Big Soldier on here?
Yeah, he on it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm here.
What's your thoughts on the game?
Personally, my thoughts on this game, man, it's gonna be a great one. It could be a potential SWAC classic. Man, two good defenses. Playing really good ball right now. Some people are overlooking Prairie View, but I'm not. I'm definitely respecting the opponent because I feel that, what I'm saying, they have the team that's capable, of knocking JSU off. But, what I'm saying, I think JSU should be able to run the football and be able to control the clock, what I'm saying? But I think it's going to be – I don't think it's going to be one of them high-power scoring games, man. I think it's going to be one of those drag-out, look like one of them good heavyweight fights you ain't, haven't seen in a, like one of them good Tyson Holyfield type fight, they're going to go the whole 12 rounds. So I think Jackson State been battle tested these last few games, everybody, some people might think, playing Valley and Alcorn and Grambling and the FAMUs, but in my opinion, I feel like, Prairie View had a lighter schedule, they had, and this is going to be their test to see if they really proven them and going to be the ones to knock Jack State off and head to Atlanta. I mean, I don't want Coach Jackson to come in and just take the SWAC like that, being a JSU fan, but you got to give it to him. The man, a really great coach, man. And he done his thing year one, and you got to salute him. I know a lot of people kind of up in got the ants in the pants about the coach of the year. I think they could have. I think TC. I think Ed Arad got something to say. I think Coach Woody got something to say about it because a lot of people thought that Bethune-Cookman team was gonna be way worse than what they were. Even my boy Coach, Coach Mickey Joseph definitely got something to say. He flipped Grambling around too. He could have been possibly coach of the year, but
we know who ain't.
All right. but man, I think it's gonna be a good game with a good atmosphere. I know Jack State fans come. I think Prairie View gonna bring a nice crowd, and it's gonna be wet and nasty out there. So I think whoever be able to control the clock and hold on to the football and take the opportunities that they take and make something great out of it, they should win this game. You know what I'm saying? But I think I don't expect a blowout by no means because Prairie View they gonna put the dukes up and they gonna go to work. Jack State gonna give them that work, but it's gonna be a good game. Looking forward to seeing it Saturday.
So you say it's supposed to rain? It's gonna rain before the game?
It's raining out here in Jackson, so it's probably gonna be raining today, tomorrow. So that ground gonna be good and soaked. It's gonna be good and soaked, and the temperature didn't drop. So it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be nasty out there. Like what Coach Henry, it's gonna be nasty out there.
Oh yeah, this a running game. That's running weather. So, and one thing like I said in my preview, one thing I know about Jackson State is they're gonna run the football. they gonna run the ball. regardless. They gonna line up and they gonna run, and when you least expect it, Rembert gonna get loose for about 50. But I think it's gonna be. I think, like I said, I think PV gonna be ready. I don't know how this game gonna turn out. I think it's gonna be closer than a lot of people think. But I know Coach Jackson gonna have his team ready. I know that much for sure. I don't think they're gonna come in. I don't think they're gonna come in shook. I think he's gonna have them ready. The defense, especially, is gonna be the. I'm just interested to see how this game go. I think it's gonna be a chess match, man. I think it's gonna be a chess match.
Yeah, this is gonna come down. This is gonna be a coaching decision. Somebody gonna have to do something. Like you say, if the weather is bad or the ground is slippery, so I don't expect to be too much passing. I kind of been watching Prairie View from afar. I really didn't watch too many of their games, but from what I understand, they like to run the football, and we all know Jackson gonna run the football. So I don't necessarily think that that's gonna change today. I don't think they're gonna come and try and surprise you by coming in and throwing the ball. But and we know Jackson got a strong defense, but it just I can't really call this game. My mind is telling me to pick Jackson to win it just off the strength because they seem to be the more talented team, but Coach Jackson got them boys believing and playing hard, from day one. So it's going to be a good championship game. I don't like you say, I don't see anybody walking away with a blowout, and it might come down to that situation like it was with Bama State and Jackson State, where it come down to that final drive or that late in the fourth quarter before we find out who's going to win it.
I'm gonna say this though. Special teams, I think, gonna be a big difference in this game. Jackson State got a better return unit. They ain't broke one for a touchdown yet, but they've been close. Prairie View not necessarily that great in special teams. If Jackson State could, even if they just get good returns and get good yardage, that could be a big difference in this game. Because if you don't have to drive that far down the field to score in a game like this, that's an advantage. So I look for that. If special teams, I'm always gonna be the first person to say special teams in a game. But if they can make that happen, man, I think that's gonna be a big difference in this game. And Jackson State got to cut down on the penalties. They got to cut down on the penalties too.
It's cliche, but turnovers too, and that could be with the slippery ball if it's raining or wet or anything like that. But like you saying with the special team, it's going to be a game about field position and taking advantage when you do get an opportunity with a short field, to put up a touchdown instead of just kicking.
Oh yeah, I don't think field goals win this game. It might win it at the end, but I don't think you're gonna win this game kicking a lot of field goals. So no. I think you get in scoring position. I think you gotta score. I think you gotta score touchdowns if you get in field position.
But I'd be foolish not to give Jackson the edge by them being at home and just having the momentum that they have had throughout this whole season. They've done it with backup quarterback. They used 3 running backs. I don't know what receiver is necessarily the number one receiver because it's not only Rembert been getting loose, it's some of them other guys get loose too. They really haven't used the tight end as much that I remember. But you gotta get them with them being home and the crowd and the boom and it's hard to pick against Jackson to win the game.
Yeah, and I don't think you can discount them being there before. I don't think Prairie View gonna come in. I don't think they're gonna really come in tight or nothing like that. But you just can't discount experience in a situation. You know, the coaches, at PV been in these games, but a lot of players haven't. So that can be a difference in a game, especially early, because it's gonna be a I mean, I ain't trying to throw no shots at nobody, but it's gonna be a different atmosphere as long as it ain't raining. It's gonna be a different atmosphere than PV been in most times. So you gotta, you gotta accept that too. But I think I don't think it's gonna phase them a lot, but it could do that early. I can see Aaron throws because the guy too excited and things like that. That might take you, a little while to get going. But I think once they get themselves right, I think it's gonna be a good game.
Well, is this the even I don't know by stats or what? Would you say this is the best defense that Jackson has faced this season, other than Bama State?
Yeah, in the league. Yeah, I would say in the league easily. I think Grambling defense is pretty good because they really aggressive. Grambling defense and Prairie View defense are different, and I think that's why Grambling gave Jackson State some problems because Grambling got an aggressive defense. They do bring a lot of pressure. They bring corners and safeties sometimes. So if you're not focused on everything, or you don't know where a guy coming from, they really after turnovers and things like that. Prairie View more of that kind of team that make you work the ball down the field. They'll drop 8 and make you make the right throw. So when you do get in passing situations, they're gonna drop off and make you make plays. But these defenses, they more similar than people think.
Right.
If PG's not gonna attack you, they're gonna lay back and force you to beat them. So it's been tough. You got to have a good quarterback to really beat them.
Well, is Morgan going to play?
With that, nobody knows. They tag lip around. They Jew-tile around Jack State too. They don't know who's gonna be the quarterback.
He ain't playing. They gonna the young kid gonna play. That's who gonna play.
Probably so, but I still think Jack State can win the game with him.
Yeah, that dude, he ain't like he no slouch. I mean, he ain't no slouch. But
he ain't got to use his arm.
This is for Morgan? Is this Morgan last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, he gonna try and get out there then.
Yeah, we got one coming.
So he gonna play. It's gonna be rusty, man.
Yeah, he gonna try and get out there though. He gonna if this is last game. If this is last game, he gonna try and get out there, and you can't blame him for that right there.
Yeah, but I will say this though, and y'all JSU people know this. Sometimes Morgan is a notorious slow starter, man. Sometimes he don't necessarily get off to the best start. I mean, even he threw 320 yards against Southern, but he had a slow start. We had a lot of pressure on him early till things started opening up. But if you can get him off his square, so to speak, he will make mistakes and play. And this being his first game back, that could be a difference in this game. So I'm interested to see how it shakes out, man. That kind of changes a lot of things when you look at the matchup. But like I said, I don't count PV out at all, man. And JSU they're gonna have to deal with PV got weapons, man. I see a lot of people out there disrespecting Prairie View, and I'm not the biggest PV fan because they kick my team ass.
It's not Prairie View. It's Lionel.
It's
my boy Lionel.
Be clear. I'd rather hear Lionel than hear the Jackson State fan.
It ain't preview. It's Lionel, man. So,
but man, I gotta give props to my boy Lionel, man. Lionel come with the numbers and stuff, though, man. You know what I'm saying? He don't necessarily come with emotion. Now you gotta give him that. He come with stuff that back up what he's saying. It might rile up some fellas, but he do come with what he's saying. So, I know a lot of people be emotional about stuff, and I've been looking at that stuff lately, man. People take things personal that they don't need to be taken personal, man. Like, you don't need to take it personal that the other team feel like they can win a game. You don't need to take it personal that people picking your team to lose. You know, I mean,
Right.
it is what it is. You know, it's not like y'all playing Southern. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all not playing a team that's not gonna really give you a full challenge. But you got, this team deserve to be here, man. I've seen too much. You know, like I say, man, I've seen a lot of disrespect toward PV, and
Yeah,
this team deserve to be here.
they
They
definitely do.
you can
I
even
agree.
say well, they lost to Bama State, which they did, but they
They won the
were leading
West.
that game 21-0 before Bama State came back, and they still had a chance to win. You know, tie that game at the end. So, you know, it. I just don't think you can discount these guys, man. And if you going in this game, and I don't think Coach Taylor and all them guys is feeling this way, but as a fan, if you going into this game thinking PV gonna lay down because it's 0-80 PV, you know, that you gonna be really disappointed, bro.
This ain't your Dooley PV. This ain't your Buffer the McDowell PV. This
Right.
is SWAC
They
Smoke PV.
them Dooley and McDowell was kind of laid back coaches, and them teams kind of took on their personality. Jackson, you see how he is. He up front in your face. He been saying it since day one. And his team is built just like him. They got that same personality. I don't think they shocked by them being here because they've been thinking this and manifesting this from the first time we had him on the show. That's all he talked about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's been all season long singing songs about going to Atlanta. So it's not like this is necessarily a surprise to them. This is kind of where they expect it to be. So I don't think they're going to be necessarily just overwhelmed by the whole atmosphere and everything. But it's hard to pick against Jackson. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it, I'll give Jackson State a slight edge, man. Like I said, I don't, I still think Prairie View could win this game, but I still, I'm gonna still go with JSU. But I think it's gonna be close. I think Prairie View got
Mm-hmm.
they got an opportunity, but it's gonna be a good game, man. I'm looking forward to it. I will be
Yeah.
tuned in. I ain't got nothing else to
I
do
won't
but
be
sit down and
surprised
watch
if it be a
football.
nail biter, too. It can go all the way down to the end. We might have a state a Labor Day Classic type game. I don't know. Hopefully we
I
don't.
mean,
But
you
it's a
never know how these games
possibility.
gonna turn out, man. So I just feel like there's gonna be a game. There's gonna be a slugfest, man. Whoever blinked first is gonna be in trouble.
Yeah. Well, Prairie View has played close games. They done blew somebody out. I think their last game they had a blowout win. So they done been on both sides of the winning side, winning. They lost a close one. So it's what a championship game is supposed to be like. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
people been would like to see the Bama State and Jackson State game again, but we saw it one time, So I think it's good. It's gonna be a good championship game.
All right. Well, I want to address two comments. One, Lionel want to know what y'all think the difference in this game gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be the special teams return game. What about y'all?
I think whichever defense plays the best is where I'm gonna put it on. Whichever defense shows up is gonna come up with the big turnover, come up with the big stop when it has to happen. I think that's gonna be the key to the game. The defense, whichever defense is the best.
What about you, Big Soldier?
What was the question again?
What you think is gonna be the difference in this game between the two teams?
Special teams. I think when it comes to like punts and kickoff returns, I think it's gonna be the field position. That's what's
Yeah, I
gonna be
mean, like
different.
I said, I just think it's gonna come down to field position, and you can't overlook third downs because both teams are very good on third downs on offense and defense. So something got to give, man. You know, both teams can run the football. Both teams, you know, have shown that, you know, that they can throw the ball. PV definitely these last 4-5 games have shown that they can throw the ball. Jackson, you know, with Lockhart out there, they've been up and down, but they don't ask him to throw the ball a lot. So, you know, you don't really get the full package out of him. But it, like I said, it's just gonna come down to who make the first big mistake. Honestly, I would say it come down to that more than anything.
Is it safe to say that PV has the best secondary? Can we say that?
I think so.
I say, yeah, I definitely agree. You know, they definitely have a really good secondary. I mean, top in FCS. You know, so you gotta take your hat off to that. You know,
so that could be the difference right there. You know, if Jackson State get a situation where they have to throw the ball around, like C. Well said, we all know Morgan, he hot and cold, and he can come off inconsistent at time, especially if the running game not really clicking, and you know, from what I've seen in the past. But and he coming off the injury and not playing in about a month or so. Mm-hmm. So if either one of those quarterbacks slip up and make a mistake, a misplacement of the ball and make a bad read, that could break the back right there with a pick six or the big turnover in a crucial situation. So, but I'm gonna be tuned in and watching. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, all I know is these are the best two teams in the league. No disrespect to Bama State, but these two teams are the most complete teams in the league. They both 7-1. You know, you can't really, you know, I know early in the season I was saying, you know, we should get a rematch, but you know, PV stepped up and they took the championship. They ain't back in. Mm-hmm. They ain't need one team to lose, two teams to lose. They took it and they did what you need to do. So, you know, they handled everybody that they needed to handle, and they did their thing, man. So I can't knock it.
Jackson lost to a team from the West, and PV lost to a team from the East.
Yeah, so it kind of shake out, man.
Yeah.
So like I say, I'm excited, man. I think you said just to go.
You see that's the reason we gonna win Saturday. These are the two best teams of Bama State and PV. Don't worry about it. We're gonna sell it Saturday. I don't want to hear it.
What you were reading in the chat?
Yeah. I don't have time. But like we said,
he's talking about the two best teams of Bama State and PV.
With you till you said that. Now, you know,
we'll see, Lionel.
When I see you Saturday, I'm gonna be through.
Man, I wish I could pull up to that game, man. I wish I could pull up to that game.
Yeah, it's gonna be whichever one of them win gonna have to go represent in the Celebration Bowl. So may the best team win.
From a monetary standpoint, I know Atlanta probably pulling for JSU to win. You know, I don't know how far you're gonna travel to Atlanta. They do make. You know, they
I think first time going, you're gonna definitely have a good crowd, man. I think a lot of people gonna turn out because it's their first time going. So you never underestimate that, man. People come out the woodworks when you win, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
if they make it, I think a lot of people gonna turn out for it, man. You never know.
Well, I think the Celebration Bowl is turning into an event more so than just, you know, people go.
As long as Jay Walker fat head ass ain't calling the game.
You already know how
he calling the game. You know he calling the game. They go because a friend of mine is going, and he bought his tickets last year. He went last year, and you know, family wasn't in it, of course. But he said when he was there, he saw people from all schools was represented, you know, at that game. And he said it was just like a big black college reunion, basically.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people turn out for it. You know, my folks my folks went to a couple of Celebration Bowls, you know. So, and y'all know Southern ain't been nowhere near a Celebration Bowl, but but they went. You know what I'm saying? The first time they went, it was in 18, I think it was. We thought we was gonna win the championship. We lost the Alcorn, and everybody had bought tickets anyway because you know we just knew Southern was going, so they bought tickets and they just went because you know they had them. But the next time they went, just because you know, and I know DJ been out there. I think he been out there 1 year too. So it's like you said, it's an event, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like I said, I'm excited for that, but I'm not gonna put the cart before the horse. I'm looking for this game here to be a good one, man. So I'm definitely gonna be in front of the TV for sure.
What about PV receiving core? Are they good?
Man, they got if not the best receiver in the league, they got one of the top 2 receivers in the league. Kid can make plays, man. I watched him eat Alabama A&M alive. Rockwell, that kid is he the truth. And I mean, Ojo can make plays, and they hit their backs out of the backfield too. They got weapons in the pass game, man.
I like Rockwell. I give him his product. Rockwell, nice, man.
Like I
this
said,
will be my first time watching them since the Labor Day Classic. Since that first game, I ain't watched them since then. Really, I've looked at highlights, but I haven't watched. You know,
I just noticed. I'm sorry, I just noticed Los J in the chat, man. What's going on, man? It's been a minute. What's happening with you? But like I said, I think it's gonna be a good game, man. You know, like I say, I'm just ready to see what happens, man. It's gonna be somebody gonna have a long Saturday night after this is over with.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna say who, but somebody gonna have a long Saturday night.
Well, I know if Jackson lose, Facebook will be quiet, and it'll be a whole lot less posts on that thing if they lose. But if they win, they're gonna blow that thing up. Man, I know that.
Man, hey, Big Soldier, before we get out of here, you got your pom-pom?
Yes, do I have my man? I don't have my pom-poms on hand. Hold on, but I do.
I mean, you got them ready for the game?
I got them ready, man. I got my blue and white pom-poms.
Hey, they said they ain't let no Jackson State people in the stadium without no pom-poms. I was just checking, bro.
Houston Nova saying he don't see nobody want to bet. Don't nobody want to bet.
I would love to, but my financial status ain't right.
Big blockchain.
Anybody wanna? We got somebody wanna get some betting action out there. Anybody interested? Y'all can work that out in the chat.
I don't never bet because I always lose.
We get 10%. We get 10% of the winnings.
Yeah. We the house.
I know. I was just about to say that we the house. We get 10%. We get 10% of the winners. I see you, Big Soldier. Like I said, I saw somebody say that y'all had to make sure everybody from JSU got a pom-pom. If they don't, they're not letting you in.
Well, what time is the game? It's 6 o'clock.
No, 7. The game 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Central Time.
Oh, now I'm gonna have to listen to that thing. Well, it'll be 2 o'clock. I might be home off of work. I'm gonna have to listen to it at the beginning. I could tell. Yeah, I'm thinking it was in the evening.
They should have a game in the evening, man. Like I said, I think it'd be better a night game, but you're gonna be competing with all the other championship games.
That FAMU game was a 6 o'clock kickoff. When we played Prairie View in Tallahassee, that was late. It was a 5.
No, y'all can't have weather and stuff that pushed that game back. Remember?
Oh, maybe so. It was. Yeah, that could be what it was.
Y'all had bad weather that day. I know we played at 1 o'clock last year.
Jackson looked like they're gonna have the weather this weekend.
As long as they don't have no delays.
Yeah. Well, the Cowboys about to come on out.
Yeah, I know. I got to get out of here, man, because I got to watch. As y'all see, man, I got to watch my team, man.
I
Hey, they
didn't
pull
know
it out.
the Cowboy was coming on, man.
They pull it out on Thanksgiving, man. They pull it out
Yeah,
on Thanksgiving.
I was gonna put on my Cowboy shirt, but I don't wear the shirt on the game days because I jinx them. If I put on Nelia, we lose. So I wear it after the game. Win
Oh,
or
I'm about to
lose, I
take.
wear my shirt after.
Hey, I'm about to take this thing off as soon as the show over with. I don't wear nothing when the game going on. I don't wear no Dallas stuff when the game going on. Just like I don't really wear no Southern stuff. I'm superstitious,
This
man.
cat cut his hair. My son done cut off all that hair. Is this a what's his name? He cut his hair off. He ain't looking like Django no more.
Django.
I'm so happy, bro. I appreciate that, dog. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, Veronica just brought it in. They in their face, they live or whatever. They on the phone. But I've been on that joke to cut his hair forever, man. That cat would not cut his hair. And it was just, that cat was looking like Django for real. Just get up, won't comb it. You look so much better. I'm so happy.
but
I'm sorry.
I'm so glad.
we're gonna go ahead and
Yeah,
wrap
I'm
this
happy
thing
about
on up
that.
tonight, man. We're gonna wrap this thing up and get on up out of here. Like I said, we'll be back on Thursdays for a while, so y'all can catch us next week, and we'll continue to do our thing. Other than that, man, we up out of here. Thank everybody for tuning in, man. Thank everybody for being in the chat, holding it down. I look forward to seeing the winning team. I look forward to seeing their fans in the chat on Thursday, next week. So with that being said, man, we about to get on up out of here.
Peace.
Peace, y'all. Go Tigers.
Go football.
Man, that's crazy.